If it's Monday, it must be the last day of training camp. Why? We'll explain. Welcome to Inside Cowboys Training Camp. Brought to you by Ford, Brad Sham, Mickey Spagnola. The Cowboys did practice late this afternoon. They're on a much different schedule now. And on behalf of all of us who were getting up for Mike McCarthy's 7:15 a.m. training camp press conference, may we say we're glad they're on a different schedule.
Oh, absolutely. By the time you tried to get up and get here, I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning still, even though we didn't have a press conference this morning.
It's muscle memory. And so, listen, this has been the most unusual training camp anyone has ever seen. Hopefully we'll see. So why would they not have an exercise last night at AT&T Stadium on television where you couldn't tell a single player by the name or number on their jersey? I had never heard of that before, but it has been done, and that was really at the heart of Mike McCarthy deciding to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I had never, you know, there was an old saying in baseball, you couldn't tell the team without your scorecard. Well, we had a scorecard, but we still couldn't tell the team. And I understand what he was trying to do. The fact that they're a new coaching staff, they didn't play any preseason games. So really no one's got a handle on what Mike McCarthy's doing with this team or what the Cowboys have on this roster. And Brad, with the ability to put 16 guys on your practice squad, you probably want to keep most of your guys and you don't want to expose them.
And that's why both McCarthy and Jerry Jones said last night that the reason they had the exercise without numbers on the jerseys was to keep guys hidden from other teams. And that might have been one of the reasons. But what gave Mike McCarthy the idea was something he was exposed to as a young man, as a Steelers fan.
Well, I just look back to the 70s and the 80s and into the 90s with Coach Knoll back in Pittsburgh. They always practice without no numbers on the jerseys, and I think it's an excellent tool to use with your coaching staff and your personnel staff. You got to know your players better, know their body types, know their mannerisms. So it was a good exercise. It will be a good exercise for us when we watch the tape.
Well, we believe that exercise is over and by the wayside. And the practice at 4 o'clock today was advertised as the last training camp practice. That means they're now getting into a regular season schedule. And we had a couple of injury notes that came out of last night.
Yeah, safety Xavier Woods looked like he walked off with a slight groin strain. It sounded like it wasn't that serious. He did come back after he went into the locker room and spent the rest of the evening on the sideline. So he should be back in a few days. The one I was concerned with was wide receiver Ventel Bryant. He went down, Brad, and he needed help to get off the field. It looked like an apparent knee injury. Mike McCarthy kind of downplayed the severity of that too. So we'll see. Anytime you see a guy needing help off the field, yeah, that's a concern. And then last week we talked about Mitch Hyatt being carted off the field in Friday's practice, and he did tear his ACL and will have upcoming reconstructive knee surgery.
We have talked a lot about the fast pace of this camp. We'll find out how one of the all-pro players on this roster reacts to it when we continue on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by Ford.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T. Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store.
Welcome back to Inside Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by Ford, Brad Sham and Mickey Spagnola. We've talked a lot the last few weeks and the last few days particularly about the pace of practice as Mike McCarthy has really stepped it up. He's had a very distinct plan in mind as a reason for doing that. but he knew what he was doing. How about some of these veteran players who have not practiced quite at this pace ever in their lives? What's an all-pro like Zack Martin think of it?
Yeah, it's been a really unique camp. Obviously, we've had, really just 2 weeks. And I think the things that the coaches are stressing and what, guys have realized is that every day is important. Not that every practice isn't always important, but even more so this year, that you got to take advantage of every day to get ready for that first game because, like we said, 2 weeks from today, we're kicking off Sunday Night Football versus the Rams.
So I don't know if it's just because of a delayed training camp this year because of COVID-19, but I haven't seen a head coach like Mike McCarthy worried about how many plays they get in a short period of time. But they sure crammed a lot of work into that short period of time. And Brad, you know what? Not only is it good to get that pace like that, but it's also some conditioning work too.
No question, and McCarthy's got a little bit more to say about that and a look ahead to the season opener, which is less than 2 weeks away. We'll be right back on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by Ford.
This segment was brought to you by Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store.
Welcome back. It's Inside Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by Ford. Brad Sham and Mickey Spagnola. We mentioned at the top of the show that the training camp technically ended today. That's because it was the last training camp practice, which was what they said on the press release they sent out, which means that people like us are invited not to come watch practice anymore, except for the first few minutes when they stretch. But they are trying to get onto a regular season schedule now, and the point for McCarthy is to make sure that his players are ready to play a season opener in less than 2 weeks.
I would say we're on target. I think you have to be practical about just the challenges that all of us have gone through. It's not, it's just not a normal year. So, you have a lot of measurables from my past experience being a head coach. You have measurables that exist from the past experience of the players here. We look at those each and every day. So I feel like I have a really good handle on where each player is that we have history with. You're obviously going through this for the first time with your young players, so you're going as you can. But the volume of work that I've stated in the opening statement, to get that much work done in 1 hour and 30 minutes means we're getting close. We're getting close to being ready for the Rams.
And Mike McCarthy wanted to point out, now that they're going to get into the regular season practice mode, that come Thursday, they're going to start concentrating on preparing for that first game against the Los Angeles Rams. So that would mean you'll have a scout team out there, and they'll start practicing things that the Rams do, or practicing against things that the Rams do, and that's a sure sign, Brad, that we're getting closer to the start of the season.
Of course, half the Rams coaching staff is new too, and so all he can do is what he thinks the Rams will do, because there's no preseason tape, just like they'll have to guess if getting ready for the Cowboys will be what it was like getting ready for the Packers 2 years ago. Anyway, tomorrow is a day off for the players. They will be back on the practice field on Wednesday, and as Mick just said, Thursday's when they really start their countdown for the season opener. But we're here all week. Tip your waitress. We are here all week. For Mickey Spagnola, I'm Brad Sham, and we will see you tomorrow at the same time on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by Ford.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T. Sleep Number, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.